Hello and welcome to Augsburg in Germany. It's Canoe Slalom World Cup time. And this weekend the athletes were in for a real treat. Top athletes from top nations testing each other to the limit on what's known as the Ice Canal. For aficionados of this sport, on this very channel was the 1972 Olympic Games. We're going to look back at the best of the action over the weekend in the 4 traditional classes. This was World Cup 3 of 5 in the 2018 season. The athletes started off in Liptowski. They went to Krakow. The standings after 2 races in the C1 men, Slavkowski, Wesley and Florence are leading the ball. 60 points for a win, 55 for second. The start list was packed with big names and a few exciting newcomers. We're going to look back at the best of the action. Sidiris Tassiadis, Greek origins, moved to Germany at a very young age. As we see, has Olympic medal to his name. Very interesting character, Sidiris. Always smiling and uses one of the shortest paddles on the circuit. So he's kneeling in his boat on a very thin piece of foam, strapped in as well. So it's not a surprise that Sidiris is doing well. He practices on this course 6 days a week. This was the key move at the bottom. He's doing something called an S move. There's a very difficult stopper, which is a wave that stops the progress and rolls back on itself. 4 or 5 seconds over the line. Do you think he's happy? I do. What's great to see in Augsburg is all the athletes are sitting on the bank watching. Luka Bozic, former world champion in the C2. And clearly a very accomplished C1 paddler as well. He's known for his extreme fitness. Seems to be a mark of fabric of the Slovenians. They're coming under what's called the Zoomflume, which are really legendary features of this course. What you've just seen is hit and upstream. So the poles are red and white to go up, green and white to go down. If you do hit a pole, you have a 2-second penalty immediately added to your score. Luka coming down well here. Really using the current, and that's the most important thing. No one's stronger than the water. And moves into provisional second place. Alexander Slavkowski, the world number 1. Been around for an awful long time. Known for his flowing style, always keeps the paddle in the water. He's what's called a righty, so his strong side is pushing with his left hand at the T-bar. These paddles are made to measure, and they often change their boats a couple of times a season. They have a certain regulation length and a regulation weight, 2 major manufacturers. Vada here, very rounded, known for their maneuverability, and Slavkowski is really pushing as hard as he can. Well, he knows how to celebrate. 3 podiums so far this season. Sidiris Tassiadis takes the gold for Germany. Alexander Slavkowski the silver for Slovakia, and Luka Bozic the bronze for Slovenia. I'm feeling really happy to win this race at home, in front of my home crowd. It's difficult to put it into words, really. I'm really lucky with this race that went so well. And of course, winning here is really unbelievable, undescribable. On with the action, and these are the standings after 3 World Cup racings. Alexander Stavkovsky from Cidavis Tasiades with Ryan Wesley in 3rd position. Women's standings going into the K1. After 2 races, Jessica Fox is 100%. Ricky Funk close behind. The final list is full of real flyers, with a couple of world champions thrown in to make it exciting. Eva Terčel from Slovenia. So the Slovenians are putting most of their boats in the finals. Good to see. A few years ago, she made a couple of victories in a row and has been there or thereabouts ever since, known for a very good reading of the water. Coming down to Zoomflume. In Tatsan, her local course, where the circuit's going to be going for the 4th World Cup of the season, the entry is about 5 times as deep and scary as that, so no problems for Eva. She's used to dealing with unpredictable water. However, she's taken out gate number 23. That could be expensive. Use the water nicely to come around and set an early time. So nearly 5 seconds faster than the other athletes. They go down here in the reverse order that they went in the semi-final results. Jess Fox. Superlatives, well, we can't think of enough good to say things about Jess. So far, she's won 4 races out of 4, so that's 2 K1 and 2 C1. From a famous paddling father family. She knows how to read the water. She doesn't always come first in the semi-finals, but really knows when to turn on the power. Ultimately fit, and this is a cracking run. Not taking a risk today, really going through the middle of the post. If you miss a post, it's a 50-second penalty, which potentially puts you out of the game. With these great overhead drone pictures, you can see the flow. Underneath the actual waterline are many, many hidden rocks. This is staggeringly fast from Jess Fox. Wow. So, last to go, Mallory Franklin. A little bit like Jess, she's a very accomplished paddler in all disciplines. In fact, the C1 world champion this year. Mallory was a prodigy, one of the youngest ever members of the British team, now fully mature. Very tall, able to use the angles to her advantage. So as you see, it's really a case of putting the boat in the right place. And again, going for the S move. Using the speed of the water, the Brits in the background, you can hear cheering her on. Cracking run. This shows how good Jess is. She's beaten the field by over 6.5 seconds. Jess Fox takes the gold for Australia, Mallory Franklin the silver for Great Britain, and Eva Terčel takes the bronze for Slovenia.
It was great. I really attacked it and I improved on my semi-final where I wanted to, and I thought after my S-gate at the finish, I thought maybe it'll be a 105, but to see 102, I'm just blown away and so happy.
3 out of 3 for Jess Fox, maximum points. Ricky Funk and Karina Cunley trying to keep in there. On with the action, the standings for the C1 women, and Jess Fox again 2 out of 2 with Vicky Wolfhart still in there. The final is similar to the final of the K1 with several athletes doubling up successfully. Anna Satilla, at the age of 16, she represented Brazil in the K1 at the London Olympics, and really came into her own in 2017, medaling on the biggest stage, the World Championships. Anna, a great character, really pushing forward the level of Brazilian paddle sports. Desperately disappointed not to make the semi-finals in the Rio Olympics, but she's been trying to make up for it ever since. And as you can see, she's a very accomplished switcher. What's switching? Well, it's easier to paddle on what's called your onside. So that's where you have all the strength. So you don't have to paddle on your offside, you switch the blade. Well, she's happy with that. Lucky the sun has come out to watch the athletes. So the start is always a bit tricky, apart from if you call Jess Fox. Some of the moves she puts down in training are absolutely frightening. The difference between the kayak and the canoe is clearly you're able to maneuver yourself in a tighter turning circle in the canoe, but you have more power in the kayak. We see in the small screen. What's great about this sport is all the competitors and compatriots will run down and support you. A light mistake, but we don't think that's going to matter. She's so far ahead of the others. Anna Satilla can only look admire. Hello, you're famous. Last to go down is Mallory Franklin. So these girls are really doubling up successfully. She's really, really at home in the big water. Mallory is using a Gala Sport boat. Let's see how she's negotiating. You see there's underwater huge rocks that come into play. You need to go around them, you choose which side. This is a really good solid run. Now, she's been down here several times. She knows where she wants to put the boat. And moves into second place. Good weekend's work. Standings, Jess Fox takes the gold, Mallory Franklin takes the silver, and Anna Satilla takes the bronze medal for Brazil. Even having time to smile as she goes around the last gate. She knew she'd won.
Thank you. I love this course and I've had an amazing weekend. It's been Yeah, amazing 3 weeks, and I'm so thrilled with that last race. I really attacked it and hit the last gate, but I think, you know, the rest of the run was almost perfect.
The standings after 3 races, 3 out of 3, so it's 180 points for Jess Fox with Anna Sotilla and Mallory Franklin. Their podiums today really helped.
Hi, my name's Richard Hounslow, and I'm going to talk to you about how top athletes need to read the water to help them on the course. So let's just quickly talk about some of the decisions we have to make when making a plan in canoe slalom. Here we got upstream gate 1, downstream gate 2. Simple, up, down, but it's not as easy as that. Between gate 1 and gate 2 we've got a stopper. Now a stopper is where the water goes back on itself. So when you're coming out of gate 1, it's going to try and hold you. And if it holds you, it's going to slow you down. What you've also got then, after gate 2, we have a big rock in the middle of the river. Now there we've got an option. You can either go down the right-hand side or the left-hand side. If you trained here a lot, you might know the quickest route. For myself, from Great Britain, don't train here very often, so what we have to do, we have to use our performance analysts. They will take the video of someone going down the right-hand side and down the left-hand side, put it head-to-head, and then we'll time it and see what the best option is. Great, so we've made our plan there. Let's go and have a look at another combination to see what we're going to do. So here we are further down the course, and another challenge for us. We've got to get from the upstream gate to the downstream gate. If you look closely at the water, there's a little wave, so the athletes will try and surf out onto the wave to really hold the height on the river. When they get to the downstream gate, quick spin, back across to the next downstream gate. The challenge here, however, is we have it set right on an eddy line. Now an eddy is where the water moves back upstream, so the boat will naturally want to spin out. So the athletes have a choice here. They can go with it, naturally spin out, and then onto the next downstream gate, or will the forwards be quicker? It'll be harder, but that's a decision they're going to have to make. So there's a few insights into how top athletes need to read the water when making a plan. See you on the water.
Standings after 2 races. Olympic champion Joe Clark was leading the ball ahead of Sebastian Schubert. So here we go for the final lineup. 2 Germans and a Swiss, Lucas Vero. First final for him for a while. So here is the very interesting, aggressive style of Hannes Egener. Again, Olympian. Very fit, very fast, very strong, and very German. What I mean by that, he's always pushing. As soon as he comes out of an upgate, you see straight the paddles in, powering through. Out in 2 strokes there. Lets the water do the work, but also makes it happen. Stuck there for maybe a second. That could be costly. So that's 95.79 seconds of effort, with the heart going between 190 and 200 beats a minute, but he's happy with his performance. There's Yuri Priskovic from the Czech Republic, 2015 world champion, 2016 Olympian, took a medal last time out in Krakow. He's known as possibly the most exciting athlete on the circuit. Look at his head dips, just in when it matters. Successfully in and out again. This is really difficult water. He makes it look easy. Often the boat clean on top, which means it's going fast. Always known as Little Yuri. His father's a major paddler as well. He's been by the side of the channel for the last, well, all his life really. Expensive 2-second penalty. But he moves into first place. Beating a local, that must always feel good. Peter Kauser. Nah, he's been around an awful long time. Has an amazing feel for the water. And a very good sprint paddler as well. Often wins the sprint competitions as a prologue to these events. Brought up on the water. Father had a yacht and he used to go round all the rivers, all the lakes, all the seas. So just feels so at home. Travels here with his family now. One of the Slovenian teams changes boat fairly frequently. All the same colour though. And here he comes to show everyone how it's done. With a 2-second penalty on gate 11, he still manages to put in an amazing time.
That's good.
So Peter Kaz takes the gold, Jure Priskovic the silver, and Hannes Egner for Germany takes the bronze. I was feeling comfortable in my boat all week long here in Augsburg. I really liked it here, the atmosphere and everything. Despite the silly touch on gate 11, I knew I had a good run. I pushed to the finish, and at the end it was worth it. I'm really happy. Standings after 3 races, and it's very tight at the top with Joe Clark just leading Priskovic with Darius Popiello in third. Fast, it's exciting. It's called Canoe, Slalom, Extreme. And look, the athletes negotiate for the best position. They're in creek boats. They're a little bit heavier, a little bit more sturdy than the traditional boats. So the choices here, going around the rubber pylons, are you can either take the left side or you can take the right side. It looks like Anna Satila has made the right move. She's going through the traffic. And she's powering away. There's the obligatory Eskimo turn within 2 lines. Powers over the line. And there's a happy champion. Very busy weekend for Anna Satila. Quarterfinals, top 2 go through. Semi-finals, top 2 go through. Finals, 4 athletes against each other. So Anna Satila, Martina Wegman, Paulina Mogalieva and Caroline Trompeter. Hey, that's so good. I'm really, really happy with my race. To be fair, it's a really, really long day for me here. Done lots of different events, and it's feeling really super. It's really amazing. When you cross the finishing line after such a taxing race, you know you're first, you know you've won, and it feels really good. You've won a medal for your country. Men, Hengst, Eigel, Tunka, Polacek. These are really strong athletes. They dive down per position. They have seedings on their vests. Number 1 is the fastest, and it's Stefan Hengst from Germany. They negotiate their way down the green. You have to go to the Pacific side there. If you miss it, instant disqualification. And we saw many disqualifications. Great overhead shot, shows the challenges they're going to go as they come down the zoom room. So it's the same course as they used in the slalom, just changing things around a little bit. This is really interesting. Pavel Eigel from Russia is leading it off. And there's a real challenge. He's going backwards. It looks like, there's gone 2 athletes. Looks like they've gone around the wrong way. So the judges will be looking at that. You have to have your head the right way round. They probably don't know about it. And maybe a bit late on the Eskimo turn. Well, first across the line is Tunka, but will he be disqualified? It looked a bit dodgy with his head on the upstream. No appealing. And Stefan Hengst is initially given the win. Judges are looking closely at the video. Once the decision's been made, they're not going to change their mind. Let's see what they've decided. So Pavel Eigel takes it for the second time. Polacek second, and Hengst disqualified. That is the world of paddling. C1, K1, and extreme slalom. I hope you enjoyed it. We certainly have. Keep up to date at Planet Canoe. See you next time.